Hello, this is a video to help you to download, install and use Zoom for the first time on your Apple computer. My name's Jonathan Sargent and I'm from Compaid, which is a charity based in Paddock Wood, which helps vulnerable people to use IT equipment, which means computers, smartphones and all the rest of it. This video is only for you if you have an Apple computer, which is to say an iMac or a MacBook or any kind of laptop or desktop computer which is an Apple one. If you have another kind of computer or a tablet, iPad, smartphone, iPhone, whatever, there are different videos for those. So this video is going to help you to use Zoom for the first time. There is quite a lot to go through. As you can see, the length of the video, it's a good few minutes long. Most of what we do here, you only have to worry about the very first time you use it. It does become simpler once you've got it set up for the first time. So let's start where most Zoom journeys start, if I can put it like that, with the email you've probably got. Somebody or other is inviting you to a Zoom meeting. The all-important bit is this thing here, this load of gibberish, which is called a web address or a URL, and all you do is you put your mouse over it and you click it. And this comes up and it says, if you have Zoom client installed, launch meeting. Well, we don't. That's our problem to begin with. Otherwise, download and run Zoom. So we click on download and run Zoom because it's our very first time. Now, this thing goes up here. If you are using a browser such as Google Chrome, the download will appear down in the bottom left-hand corner in a sort of box here. But I'm using Safari at the moment, which is the browser which comes with Apple computers. And it says, click Downloads icon above, then double-click zoom.pkg. So I'm going to do that. I'll click here on that downward pointing arrow, and I'm going to double-click on this. This actually says zoom-2.pkg. Don't worry about it if yours says something like that. Don't worry about it if it doesn't. It comes to the same thing. And then I'm going to double click. And then you probably get this thing which is the Zoom installer. And all we do really is we just follow the instructions and we click in the bottom right hand corner at every opportunity. So continue, click. And this on mine, it's flicked past something here. You may get another option here and you just click again in the continue box. Now I'm going to click install. And now it's just going to ask me to put in my password. So I'll do that. And I click install software. And it thinks about it for a little while. And there we go. The installation was successful and we click close. And now this, you can either press keep or move to bin. If you click move to bin, it may refuse. It hasn't done actually. Don't worry if it refuses. If it says I can't move it to the bin, just ignore it. Now this has come up and it says join a meeting or sign in, which in a way is not very much help. So what we can do now is, I'm going to get rid of that, close it. I'll close this as well. And then I'm going to click on this again. And this is what we'll do in future. Now that we've got Zoom installed, this is the process for every time you use Zoom from now on. So we click on there and we can click here, but it should just launch on its own, hopefully. I wonder if you may get this as well. Notifications may include alerts, sounds and icon badges. I'm going to click don't allow because I don't want lots of beepers coming up on my computer. You may want to click allow. It's up to you. There we go. Right, so nothing is happening. I'm going to click on launch meeting. Do you want to allow this page to open zoom.us? The answer is yes, I do. That's why I'm here. So I'll click allow. And then you're opening it for the first time. Are you sure you want to open this application? Well, yes, I do. That's why I'm here. So I'll click open. All those things are just to keep you safe, essentially. Now here is where you can enter your name. You can use just your first name or you can use your full name if you like. On the whole, I recommend that you just use your first name unless you have a particular reason to use your first name. So my full name today is going to be Sid, why not? Sorry, my first name. If you untick this box, it means that future users of it will be able to put their name in as well. So I think if you're sharing your computer with other people, it can be friendly to do so. If there's only two of you and you're always using it together, you might want to put, I don't know, Sid and Marjorie or something. But today it's just me, so it's just Sid, and I'll click join. And this is where you get to just check that you're looking all right, check that your lipstick is put on correctly and your hair is sort of tidy and that kind of thing. No one can see you yet, but when I click join with video, then people will be able to see me. So this is your last chance to make sure you look nice. It's a bit like looking in the mirror. I can click join without video and then no one will be able to see me, but that in a way it defeats the point of the thing. You want people to see you, otherwise you might as well be having a phone call. If you don't want people to see you, then do just click join without video. I'm going to click join with video. And this is a window that you get at this point. Now this says the person who's organised the meeting, they have had a little thing pop up on their computer to say, oh, Sid is waiting to come in. If they've nipped off to make a cup of tea or do something else, then you may be waiting here for a few minutes. Don't worry, it's just the way of the thing. At some point, they should hopefully press the button which allows you in, and then this will happen, and you will get into the meeting. So you click join with computer audio if you want people to hear you. I do. And there we go. So in this area here will normally be a person. I've just got it blank because I'm doing this on my own, but there will be someone there to speak to you. You have two buttons down here, mute and stop video. I'm going to press mute and you'll see a little red microphone by your picture up here, and that means that other people can't hear you. This is very useful if you're in a big group of people and you don't want them to hear what you're saying to people around you. When someone comes up to you and says, do you want a cup of tea? And you go, oh yes please, no sugar this time. And you don't want everyone to listen to your conversation. But make sure you do click it again when you want to talk to people on Zoom. This button here stops your video in case you don't want people to see you anymore. So I press that and I've just disappeared and it just says Sid. I press it again and it comes back. Now most importantly, I think, up in the corner here, in fact I'm just going to make this window bigger, there we are. Up in the corner here we have this thing called gallery view, and if you're talking with more than one person at the same time, you can click on that and then people are put into equal size boxes, which I think works a bit better. It's easier to keep track of. If you don't like it, you just click on speaker view and it goes back to how it was. The way speaker view works is the person who is in the big box in the middle is always the person who is speaking the loudest at that moment. That's not a joke, that's actually how it works. So it can be quite confusing because it can change quite quickly. So I personally prefer gallery view. Let me show you these buttons again. Mute turns your microphone off. Stop video turns your camera off. And you can turn them back on like that. You have some other buttons here in the middle. I would ignore these for the time being. Obviously they do certain things, but they're not really anything you need to be concerned with at the moment. The last button to look at is this one down in the corner here, the bottom right hand corner, the red one, leave meeting. When you've had enough, or when the meeting's over, you click on there and then you click leave meeting, and then it will just take you out of the meeting again. And there we are, and we've finished. Something you may want to bear in mind when you're using Zoom is what's on the wall behind you, or what can be seen behind you, and whether there's anything there that you don't want other people to see. For example, if you've got a dozen Rembrandts in a Vermeer hanging on the walls or something that you don't want everyone to know about, or if there's possibly going to be something happening behind you which you don't want every... Yeah, thank you, goodbye. Yeah, well that's an example. So you might want to think first of all about choosing your place in the room to sit carefully. If you have a reasonably new and high-powered computer, you do have an alternative, which I think is quite good fun. If you go down to the bottom left-hand corner where it says Stop Video and click on the little upward pointing arrow, choose Virtual Background. Click on that, and you should have some choices already. I've put these in myself, but you should have some different choices there already. And you can, rather than being in your front room, you could be in a Norwegian fjord or somewhere quite hot. Or if you like that idea but it's too hot for you, how about Margate? Or if you don't want to be anywhere exotic like that, there are some available which just look very, very dull, like this. So this can be handy. As I say, most computers can't do it. So in that case, you'll just want to be careful about where you sit if you're worried about this kind of thing.